In this video, I'll share a few tools for getting new fonts that you can use, a tool that identifies fonts for you, and tools to make sure the fonts you're using are accessible. First, where can we get more fonts? Every word processor comes with several fonts, but if Microsoft Word or Google Docs doesn't have exactly the font you want, you can go out and get it. The first place I encourage you to look is Google Fonts at fonts.google.com. It's super easy to use. If you know the name of the font you want, you can search for it. But if you want to browse, you can type in a sentence that you want to test, choose the size, and then sort by categories and properties to find what you're looking for. Once you find a good font, select it. The specimen will show you the different styles, and the About and License will give you more information. This is where you can find the typeface's intended purpose, which is always good to check to make sure you're using it appropriately. If that's the font you want, just click Download Family and it's yours. Now you'll be able to use that font in Word or Google Docs. A few other places to find new fonts are Adobe Fonts, myfonts.com, and dafont.com. Adobe Fonts is included in the Creative Cloud subscription, so if you have that, it's a great, easy option. MyFonts is another site where you can browse and purchase paid fonts, and Dafont is a site where there are several free fonts. Like most things, the paid versions are generally better, but try out each of them and see what works for you. Another tool that can be super helpful is Fonts Ninja. This is a browser extension for Chrome that lets you see the fonts used on almost any website. You'll notice that most websites only use two different typefaces, but with some variation in font and size. Using Fonts Ninja is a good way to discover new typefaces and see how they're used on well-designed websites. However, if the font is an image, Fonts Ninja won't be able to detect it. But you can search by image on Adobe Fonts. It's not always perfect, but at the very least, it will show you a number of similar fonts that you can use. Once you've used typefaces and fonts in your own documents, you'll want to make sure that what you've selected isn't causing any accessibility issues. There are accessibility checkers in almost everything nowadays. In Word, you can find it here. In Canvas, it's here. These accessibility checkers don't always find every issue, so you might need to do some other checks to make sure that your fonts are accessible. You can check color contrast by using the WebAIM contrast checker. The other thing to check for is headings. Make sure you're using heading styles and not just changing body text. Here's how you do that in Word. You can also change the heading style to match the font or typeface you want. And in Google Docs, it's very similar and easy to do. You should also use headings in your learning management system. Unfortunately, you usually can't set styles for headings and body text. You'll have to change it individually every time, so it might be best just to use the defaults. Using headings adds heading tags to the document behind the scenes. These make it easier for users who have screen readers to navigate through the content. In fact, about 70% of screen reader users said that they used headings to navigate content. So those are a few tools to help you find and use fonts and typefaces. This is the last video of the series on typography. Now go out there and design beautifully.